I don't know why she's dressed like a Christmas terrorist. There was some hats in my bed.
I'm in a spacesuit.
Oh, you're not in a spacesuit. You're in a hat from Scotland and my TARDIS hat.
Spacesuit.
Oh my god. So, guess what we just saw? Like just
Name's
guess.
like there somewhere.
We didn't go
We
see...
saw the Martian... Ooh, it's a movie about Martin Short.
We did not...
Oh no!
Why? Stop it! Why did you...
Spacesuit fail.
Don't make noises. So, we did not go see the new Paranormal Activity movie because I put my foot down and I'm like, but you know what's going to happen? They're all basically jump scare the movie.
Yeah, she refused to let us go to see the Paranormal Activity.
Like, if I'm going to see a bad horror movie, we should see, like, an actual bad horror movie, not, like, that...
I've only ever seen the marked ones, and the Ghost Dimension looked so bad I wanted to see it, but Omega's like, no, I'm not.
Why? It's a waste of money, and I was paying for it.
This is true. I paid for Crimson Peak, so...
So, yeah.
So we had to see The Martian because someone demanded it.
I bought you curry first.
Yeah. But, okay.
Okay, so here's what I heard about it. I first heard about this when it was in pre-production because Adam Savage at Mythbusters was tweeting about it, saying, oh my gosh, they're making a movie out of this book. I really loved it. He said, basically, here's how he tells test if you like the book. So, you know that, 15-minute part of the movie Apollo 13 where they figured out scientifically how to keep these guys alive? If you wish that scene could spread out for an entire book...
And be crossed with Castaway.
Well, he didn't say that part, though.
Oh.
Then you'll like this book, And I did read the book, although we do have it at the shop. But, I heard buzz about it.
It was like an indie book.
Yeah. Right.
It started off as like an ebook on like a website and then was put out as print on demand and it ended up as a big film.
So, just goes to show. But, so I knew that pretty much everyone who liked it mostly said that they liked it. There were some differences from the book. I know that everyone in my house went to go see it and they liked it.
Yeah, they saw it a couple of weeks ago. So sorry this is like weeks after everyone else saw it, but she didn't want to see Ghost Dimension.
How could it possibly be? So you give your impressions first, because I am going to go on a pretty long tangent. So tell the peoples what you think about life.
It was good, and it was interesting to have quite so many Marvel characters in the same film, because you had Sue Storm, you had Baron Mordo, you had Bucky, you had, what do you call him from Ant-Man, Michael Pena. So that's 4, there's got to be another one, there's another one.
So now there's my headcanon that basically he got a tip from a friend of his and ended up becoming an astronaut. The guy from Ant-Man.
Yeah, there's at least 4, probably more than that, altogether. So that was good, and it was nice to see a good science fiction film come from Ridley Scott. For the first time since the early '80s, I think. And
I didn't know he was involved. I was like, oh, what's this guy?
Oh yes, the very start, you had the little animated bird flying around. That was his production company.
I don't know people's production company.
That's Scott Free. Him and Tony Scott's production company.
What do I
Tony
know?
Scott, his younger brother, who's now dead, who directed Top Gun.
Oh, okay. I don't know, but I'm not the kind of person like you and probably every other Channel Awesome person that, knows production logos. I know, the New Line, with the New Line Cinema, the things.
Now it was good. Not going to complain about that, but I did get the feeling that this is basically if Ayn Rand wasn't a complete scumbag and wrote sci-fi. Because this is one man through his own will and intelligence, surviving.
But that's the point
pretty much by himself, which is Ayn Rand loves.
Point of a protagonist, but he also wasn't a selfish cunt.
That's what I'm saying, if she wasn't a complete cunt.
Oh.
Basically, Matt Damon's character is an Ayn Rand hero who doesn't go around raping random people and making them fall in love with him via rape. Or blowing up his own building. Or talking for 60 fucking hours at once.
Well, he's a protagonist.
Ayn Rand ones are a very particular type of protagonist.
Okay.
And I saw shades of that.
I've only read one of her books, and that was Anthem, because we had to read it in school, and I thought it was stupid, I don't know what to tell you.
This is one I don't 100% agree with, but quite a lot of people who know more about Ayn Rand stuff than me say that the closest thing to a purely Ayn Randian hero in fiction right now, in famous fiction, is Tony Stark in the Iron Man films.
Yeah, but he, is selfish, but he has heart of gold.
See, I argue that his dad is more like an Ayn Rand hero because he actually dragged himself up from nothing while Tony Stark was born with all the benefits of rich.
Yeah. Yeah, and
But-
like he feels like a douche, and he has like personal problems, and him and Banner are their science bros.
So, but yeah, it's good,
Science
and
bros.
someone who loves the Fountainhead is going to yell at me and say, "Hagan, you cunting whore."
That's the third time you've used that today.
Yeah, it's a callback. We filmed the Death Games review earlier, and I kept ad-libbing cunting whore into it.
Doesn't it sound like something from like, the 12 Hagen days of Christmas? Like,
12 cunting whores.
yeah, it does. That's horrible. We're sorry. If you're a cunting whore, write the show. But, well, you don't know. We've got viewers from all over the place.
The captain of the spaceship in this was the woman, Tom Hiddleston's sister/girlfriend from Crimson Peak.
Spoilers.
And then Sean Bean's in this, and somehow doesn't die. I mean, I half expected the little shot of him being all happy afterwards.
Like, there's this scene where they want to name like something Project Elron, and they're like the NASA leader of NASA's like, what? And one of the nerdy head of
Oh, no, someone else did that because the NASA leader, he knew about it. He was so into it.
Okay, who? No, it was the PR girl.
Yeah.
She was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And he's like, the Council of Elrond with a secret meeting and stuff like that.
And then the leader said the best line in the film, which was, "If this is going to be the Council of Elrond, I want my code name to be Glorfindel."
Yes, but here's the thing: is that
I wanted Sean Bean to say.
I know he was in the room. Like, you have to think when they were shooting that scene, did they not like look at him and be like, "Sorry, Sean"?
I think it was possibly deliberately, but I just imagine he said the Glorfindel line, then someone else should have been all like, "What?" And then Sean Bean could have been all like, "He wasn't in the film," because Glorfindel wasn't. Glorfindel was Arwen's part in Fellowship of the Ring rescuing Frodo from the thingy.
I think
that was Glorfindel.
I think Adam Savage and
book.
Jamie Heineman should have had a cameo in this, just as like scientists working somewhere. Don't you think?
As themselves, or
no, as actors.
oh, elderly scientists who worked on the '90s thing on Pathfinder.
That would have been great. Because here's the thing: is like they were in an episode of CSI just as random scientists. Yeah, that happens. Because you know that Adam would have been over the moon about it. So is that your assessment? Are you gonna give the vague plot for people who haven't seen it and don't intend to?
Oh yeah, we should do that, shouldn't we?
Yeah, and then I'll go off on my long tear.
Matt Damon gets sent to Mars because he's Matt Damon, he then gets left on Mars equally because he's Matt Damon.
No, that's not what happened.
And then he's like, "I'm Matt Damon," and so Mars is like, "Well, I better let you grow potatoes on me, even though that's scientifically not going to work according to real science." And then Matt Damon's like, "I'm Matt Damon, bitch," and he leaves Mars, and the other people are like, "Ooh, it's Matt Damon."
That's not
the end.
What happened. I mean, it is, but it isn't. Okay. No, what happens is there's a manned mission to Mars, and a huge storm comes up, and they have these orders. If it exceeds this many miles per hour, you have to abort. So they're running to their ship, and he gets hit by flying debris, and they're like, "Oh, his bio thing is off is offline. His suit's been breached. He's gonna be dead within a minute." They search around, they can't find him. They have to leave, and they leave him behind. But it turns out a piece of the antenna punctured him, and it punctured his suit, but the blood actually formed a seal, and I guess dried or created a vacuum in such a way that it preserved him. And so he has to figure out how to survive on the rations he has, in the shelter he has, until he can make contact with NASA, until NASA can drop him off food, or until the next planned manned mission. And
which is like 4 years away, and like it's going to land 3,000 miles away.
3,000 kilometers, because that's even more.
Kilometers are less than a mile.
Is it?
Yeah, kilometers about half a mile.
Oh.
But still a long way.
It's a longer word, so I guess that's why.
It's a long way.
I don't know space metric.
And you know the best little touch in this, little nerdy touch, was that clearly while this was all going on, you had a bunch of ice warriors sitting off screen, eating popcorn and going, look at the stupid fucking human. That's Matt Damon. He was in Team America World Police.
Alright, so...
Matt Damon, said the ice warrior.
Now I'm going to do my part.
I'm going to go to sleep.
No, you have to be... I'm awake for your things.
Except for last time.
No, I was sick. Come on. Wait, no. I'm stopping this... No, don't you... I'm stopping this backseat critique right now. I'm turning this whole video around.
Look, I'm sitting up. Hello.
Reload it and play it again for the average review. Would you... Come on, be serious.
What? I'm setting up right here.
No.
I am right here.
I'm literally actually not going to go on. If you don't sit up and take things seriously. This is why you don't have... That's why we can't have nice things.
Oh, she was going to say something much meaner, something along the lines of, "This is why no one hangs out with you at Con Bravo, and why you cry, and why you self-harm and throw yourself off buildings."
Why did you throw yourself off a building?
There's something we have to talk about later.
Anyway, so here's the thing. Alright. I know that a good percentage of you are younger than me. Or quite a bit younger than me. I'm going to tell you how when I was a little teeny kid, I was very, very, very small. I wanted to be, when I grew up, a Transformer. Now that was impractical. So then I went on to wanting to be a Jedi Knight. And I still secretly want to be a Jedi Knight. That was a little bit more impractical. But then when I was a little teeny kid, I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to be an astronaut so much. And when they were sending the Challenger up in 1986, I was in first grade.
I'm getting a drink.
Oh,
I'm trying to be quiet.
All right. I was in first grade, and it was a big deal because there were 2 women on board, and one of the women was a teacher.
Sally Ride.
No.
Oh no, Sally Ride she survived.
Sally Ride died a few years ago of cancer.
I wondered why she survived the Challenger for that long.
She was the first woman astronaut.
No, she wasn't.
She was before them.
No, the first one was a Russian.
No, the American anyway. The one that counts. But anyway, we're not gonna... No, because they were cosmonauts. Ours were astronauts. America.
You just change the word and it's the same fucking thing.
We're
And
better.
you like a different record.
Oh, say, can you see? But
Okay,
anyway,
well then I declare that Northern Ireland is the most powerful Hemisphere, which is our word for country in the world.
Works for me.
Are you a Hemisphere?
As
And
long,
America?
as
No.
long as you can get Sinn Féin and the DUP to agree
If
on
America's
it.
not a Hemisphere, therefore we are in charge.
You go for it. But so, this was a big deal across America. It was a daylight launch. And they actually, a lot of classes, a lot of, schools, they elected to show it live on TV.
This is the color of Mars.
Would you stop that?
It's orange.
And so they sent out that, blast off. And then the, rockets come off. And then the Challenger split into 3 different parts. And we all clapped. Because it was like fireworks. And we didn't realize the teacher was standing there like this. Because we didn't realize, us little first graders, 5 and 6 years old, that wasn't supposed to happen. That the Challenger had exploded on launch and all aboard were killed. And we didn't realize that until, the teacher said something.
A bunch of technicians knew it was going to happen. And they warned them. And they were basically, the company told them...
It was a huge deal in the
company
80s.
told them to shut up about it because it was
It
on cracked about it.
It was the O-rings.
There
was years worth of investigation.
There was this article on Cracked where these guys, apparently at least some people kept trying to warn people that it was going to happen, and they were told to shut up by someone. And one of them, the night before the launch, said, "I had a wonderful day in work. I just went and killed some astronauts." And that was the night before. He basically said, "They're going to blow up tomorrow. I tried to stop it. I can't fix it."
Oh, there were years and years of congressional subcommittees and stuff like that, but I didn't realize when I was a little kid. Like, I mean, if you watch my episode, What Went Right about Mr. Hooper, I kind of understood death, but I hadn't really lost anyone close to me, so I hadn't really hedged that part out. But I was getting to the idea that it could be possible for me to die. And I hadn't realized that being an astronaut actually involved any danger. Because it all sounded like running around on the moon and going on the Starship Enterprise, and I kind of didn't have reality and science
no one ever
fiction,
died in Star Trek.
Separated out. Yeah, no one important anyway. I was 6.
Except
what do
for
you
Spock.
want? I graduated from wanting to be a Transformer to wanting to be a Jedi Knight to wanting to be an astronaut.
Spock died.
Did
they not show you Wrath of Khan?
Honey, I hadn't seen any of the movies. I haven't seen the original series. I was 6. But anyway,
Gary Mitchell died.
I'm not finished.
Okay.
But so anyway, this totally completely killed that dream for me. Like, people ask me, what do you want to be? And I was like, a marine biologist. Because I like jellyfish, you see. And then
she saw Seacrest and she's like, I don't want to hang out with a fucking dolphin.
No. It's because I'd gone, it's because I've been taken to the Camden Aquarium, if you want to know the real truth. I mean, this is why I'm a psychology major now. But the thing is that, when I was a little, even up into high school, Like, once every few months, I would have a dream about being an astronaut in a spaceship, at blastoff, doing the G-checks and everything, and going to the moon, walking on the moon.
Did you do the Mars mission thing in Disney World?
No. I was in high school by then.
No, Disney World itself, because I know you went to Disney World. There's a mission. There's a ride in Epcot, which is like that.
No, because it was my senior year in high school, and we basically did nothing but bullshit around. Is what we did when we were in Disney.
I think you would have enjoyed that.
Like I had a subscription to. Oh God, I can't even remember the name of this magazine, but it was a space magazine for kids, and in the back there was always the advert for space camp, which was incredibly expensive. I mean, even back then it was incredibly expensive. I desperately wanted to go. My mom's like, "No, I thought you wanted to be a marine biologist." And I changed my mind. And so I always had these dreams about like running around in forests on the moon and all like hippie bullshit like that. But
if it's space camp, if it's really expensive, I'm guessing that's an actual camp and not a copy of the movie.
No. It was an actual thing.
What they send you into space?
No. You basically you train as though you were an astronaut, and they have like some of the stuff that it's basically pretend. It's pretend, but you go into pretend space. You do
nice little earner for NASA.
I don't even think it was run by NASA, honey.
Oh, so it's like a really expensive version of the astronaut ice cream that I like.
Yeah, it's kind of like okay, it's like going to chess camp. It's like or like chemistry camp. There used to be things like that. Like, it would be like, go for a month to chess camp, and you're with other little chess prodigy kids.
Americans are fucking weird. Now I know why everyone thinks I'm fucking weird just automatically over here, because they assume I'm American.
Guys, if you wanted to go to space camp when you were little, please comment below. But, so, I hadn't thought about this until I took her to the National Air and Space Museum down in D.C.
And we went upside down.
I want to talk about that later. And one of the rooms had running on a loop. I think, and I forget what year it was, mine in 2005, 2006. The footage of the last manned, NASA mission. And she had gone off to do something, and I just was transfixed.
Yeah, you were watching it over and over again, and I was looking at the shuttles.
And she just kept like, "Were you coming?" And I just looked up at the screen, and I said, "We'll never go back."
Yeah, you will.
I said, "It's over. There's no money." The recession just took the mickey out of everything. The space program has been so dead for so long, we're never going to go back. And I said, if any country goes, it'll be China. If any private citizen goes, it'll be, space... Well, SpaceX wasn't a thing yet, but it'll be Richard Branson. Because I know he was making rumblings about wanting to go into space.
But there's been people in space constantly for 15 years.
Yeah, I know, but, we won't...
Longer than that, actually.
We were so desperate to walk on the moon because the Russians did it. And, the space race was an extension of the Cold War. But then we just kind of gave up. We're like, it doesn't matter. We've got iPods now. And I can't express to you. I mean, maybe if you're around about my age or older or a little younger, that you feel that way too. The profound sadness of seeing, that's the last manned NASA mission. And we probably won't do it anymore. All of the spaceships we have are so old and so out of date. Building new ones just requires so much money that we don't have. And I think I remember saying this at the time, and it was really cool to see in the movie, the Chinese space agency say, well, you know what? We have technology that can help you. We'll step in and help. Because I think I said to you on that day, who's going to get there? It's going to be the Chinese. The Russians really don't care that much anymore. It's going to be the Chinese.
Well, if the Chinese get into it as strongly as that, it'll just be a new space race, which ultimately would probably help overall. But,
seeing this movie, I can't even tell you how incredibly inspired I was. Not just because it's America and stuff like that. But because I can imagine a future in this canon, where there are colonies. There's a little kid who's, reading from their, their tablet, if they even still have telepathic data crystals by then, maybe something like that, the first brave pioneer of Mars, Mark Watney, and thinking, this is that kind of thing, it's like, Amelia Earhart's flight, it's like the Wright brothers, and just that profound
Amelia Earhart, she...
in in humanity and human science. The idea that, I learned about evolutionary psychology, in uni, but like the idea that we came from basically little more than semi-upright primates, that we can leave this, we can leave our own atmosphere. I don't know. I felt very profoundly touched by the movie, is what I'm saying.
Derry has an obsession with Amelia Earhart. We have a museum dedicated to her. I'm pretty sure there's a statue of her somewhere. Part of our airport is named after her, and that's because when she made her transatlantic flight, she landed just outside Derry.
So I wonder who was the first person after she got down and then she was waiting. She was like, "Hi, what's the crack?"
And she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go off and she was flying, and then when she got lost, and then because her navigator Fred Noonan was like, "Sure, it'll be grand."
Yeah, it was. It'll be grand. Well, you know what? She probably had a smoother landing than Ryanair. Ooh, zing. Because I don't know about anybody else, but EasyJet's always able to put us down nice and easy, nice and smooth. Just saying, Ryanair. That could be you.
EasyJet puts you down easy, and Ryanair puts you down like you've been fucked by a guy called Ryan.
Air. That's his last name.
Air.
But yeah, I guess what I'm saying is, I see a lot of people like, oh, they'll share something from the I Fucking Love Science Facebook page, and I saw a really great image on Facebook the other day saying, I fucking love science. Oh, great, here's this really great peer-reviewed paper I just read. No, I meant I really like, pictures of the universe with nice quotes overlaid on them. As our professors always remind us, real scientists will tell us how we in the social sciences aren't really scientists. And you might use statistics, but you're not really STEM and stuff like that. But, I guess seeing this movie, I just felt so profoundly inspired. Not even... Because they also remind us, remember, you're psychologists. You are scientists. Not even as a scientist, even if it's just the social sciences. But as a member of the human race. I didn't mean to feel that sappy about it. I wasn't in danger of crying, but it was just it was a very fulfilling ending, and
my degree that I got includes a BSc, which I believe has me as a Bachelor of Science.
Yeah, mine's a BSc psychology. So yeah, you're a scientist too.
Technically, I got a science degree in fucking editing and cameras. And yet, you've seen what my show looks like.
That's just because you don't have a lot of money.
Yeah, if I had better tech, I could do better. I'm working with very basic stuff.
If you want to help out with this endeavor, Patreon is right. No, I'm just kidding. I have feelings about Patreon. I'll share that another time. For me personally, not for other people. Well, I might as well share them now. No, I think that the people who do Patreon and, who, you have so many people who are basically saying, your work is really good, and I want to pay money to keep that happening, and so I can see it first. But, people said, you should do a Patreon, Omega. And I'm like, no.
I think she should.
It costs me nothing to make Lesbian Talk. It costs me nothing but time. I have a part-time job, and I'm at uni, and I really don't feel that getting a Patreon would offer patrons anything more than they're already getting. Maybe if I,
You could do Google Hangouts on Lesbian Talk.
Nobody wants to hang out with us.
Yes, they do.
Nobody don't.
No, they would get the offer to, and some people would want to do it.
I guess. But anyways, that's what
And then the Google Hangouts we put up as separate videos. There are stuff you could do. The reason I haven't done a Google Hangout or anything like that is because I don't actually have a webcam. Even when I was doing live streaming, I would only do it vocally. No, because remember, my internet's so spotty that it wouldn't really work. But in this house, if you're in the right place and you got decent internet, you could do it.
That's true. Well, that has something to do with the movie, but yeah, if you want to be inspired about science in a way that not even Mythbusters can get you, just see this movie because
Marsbusters.
It's really good. I think Nash was talking about it once on Twitter, right when we landed the Curiosity rover and it turned on. And it said, hey, follow me on Twitter.
Well, the last one that they sent to Mars, the Beagle, it sort of... They they didn't translate between either centimeters and millimeters or inches and centimeters. Yeah. There was a mess up in the calculation, something that simple, and it crashed into Mars and blew up. Or maybe that wasn't the Beagle. There was one of them did
one
that.
One of them did crash. One of them eventually...
And one was killed by Starscream in the Transformers, the live action... No, one of the trailers for the Transformers live action movie. It was Starscream appeared and it killed it. And that's... in the
Oh yeah, that's right.
in the Transformers live action movie canon, that's what happened.
I remember there was one that basically was just left there till the battery runs out because it went like
Yeah, that was the one that they used in the movie.
yeah. But Nash said he's like, we have a robot on fucking Mars. We can look through this robot's camera at what's going on at Mars right fucking now. That's fucking amazing. So, if you want to feel really great about humanity and our accomplishments, I mean, yeah, as a race we are kind of sucky, really. But, like, I don't know. It just profoundly touched me, and I think it was a very good movie. I'm aware that there's some parts that are different from the book. My sister-in-law says that apparently in the book he's not as likable. He's kind of an arrogant bastard, and so he's a little bit more likable in this one, but I don't know. I thought you'd have something to say there, so I looked at you and you were kind of like surprised that I did.
Well, I'm just thinking that it's really, really fortunate that Matt Damon's character wasn't Serbian, because I've seen a movie called Districted, which is... It's on my review list, possibly. It's a bunch of short films about sex and porn. And one of them is by a Yugoslav person who says that in their village, where they came from...
In my village.
Yes, there is a tradition that young men have to, at some point, it's either a passage into manhood, or it's an every year thing. As a symbol of fertility, they have to literally fuck the ground. And it's a really good thing that Matt Damon's character wasn't from that village, because otherwise he'd be fucking Mars, and it would be like the most porny version of Total Recall ever. And
I knew the story wasn't going anywhere good.
And when you have lose pressure, things expand a bit. So he would take off his groin thing, and his penis would go on 3 feet long, from a spacesuit, and then his penis would be sort of exposed, and it would grow several times bigger, and he'd fuck Mars. It would be great.
I like how I go to, this is an inspiring moment for all of humanity, to a 3-foot penis fucks Mars.
This is why you married me.
Probably. But
and
I highly recommend this movie.
I'm fairly sure that this tradition isn't actually real, and it was just in a short film in Districted, but the person seemed to indicate it was a documentary.
Mockumentary, more likely.
So if you think I should review Districted... Tell me in the comments. See, we'll do anything to get comments. Comments are fun.
I guess. But so that's what we have to say about that. What'll probably be the next one? Probably one of the ones for Patreon, right?
Yeah, we got... Probably the next Backseat critique may well be The Boys from Brazil. That's a Patreon request. We got a DVD copy up there. It's just getting us time together when we are hanging out doing stuff. And
I've got like 3 papers and a presentation due before the end of this term.
Yeah, and we don't get a lot of time to just sit down and watch films, so we will get to that as soon as possible.
We promise.
I have ordered a copy of Felidae for another Patreon Backseat critique. That's an animated film about cats. I think it's German in origin, and so that'll happen at some point after that. I'm pretty sure we'll end up at the cinema again at some point.
Yeah, it's got to be. Got a trailer for Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
And I'm like...
I told you. I'm cautiously optimistic.
And I'm like, J.J. Abrams, I didn't give a shit about you before you killed Star Trek, you fucker.
Jesus fuck. Well, okay, it can't possibly be worse than the prequels.
J.J. Abrams, you fucker.
And
I will...
If this hasn't happened before it goes up, search out the hashtag on Twitter, #ForceForDaniel. Apparently there is a terminally ill Star Wars fan who does not have a long time left. He's already exceeded the life expectancy he was given back over the summer, who desperately wants to see The Force Awakens before he dies. A lot of people have gotten involved. I know Peter Mayhew and Mark Hamill. I heard about this from the Mary Sue today on Twitter. So if you can, find the hashtag #ForceForDaniel, and hopefully enough people can be involved to get the ball rolling to help this guy see The Force Awakens before he passes on. So
I've always hated J.J. Abrams. I think I always will. I've never been able to forgive him for what he did to Star Trek.
Oh my god.
I'm quoting Star Trek 6. This is Kirk's line about Klingons.
I'll never forgive what they did to my son. How long have you been sitting there? Long enough. Haha, click.
And amusingly, they recorded it. They play that audio back later on at the end of the film, and they use a completely different take with different words.
Oh.
This recording was doctored.
That's awesome.
Which is hilarious. But I'm totally going to turn that into a J.J. Abrams Star Trek in 5 seconds.
So anyway, we enjoyed the movie. I'm sure you will too. Thank you for sitting still for 30 minutes to listen to us talk.
Space!
No, ouch!
Take this